Hi, I'm Michael. I'm going to talk to you about why athletes should be paid in college. I got all my sources from Auerbach and Stokowski. Point college athletes should be paid for participation, and DJ Williams. Those are my three journals. Now, as you see, my topic is why we should be paid in college, and my three reasons are it's physically exhausting, mentally exhausting, and financially a financial burden. Uh, Physically, athletes while doing school and work becomes very, very tiring. You're looking at 60 hours with those three. Athletics is tiring, work is tiring. Then as for physical, mental, you got school anxiety, work anxiety, and like unknown anxiety because everybody has family problems. Everybody has, something mental that's going on. And then financial, you have to hold a job in order to pay for all the things you're doing back and forth, and college itself. Imagine waking up on like Sunday knowing that you got 5 days a week of classes, and then you got homework for those classes, and you have athletics after all that every single day with games every other day, and then you have work on the weekends. Looking at time, you have like 168 hours a week, I think, in a week in hours, and 56 you spend in sleep, 24 in work, 20 in sports if you play a sport, and 30 in class and homework combined. And you're looking at about 130 hours a week, and then that leaves 38. And most people sleep for that time. Most people work some more. Athletics, you might practice to keep your position. There's all these factors that play in. All right, and then mental health. This is a direct quote from Williams. In addition to normal pressures of being a college a student athlete are exposed to other environmental pressures at risk and increased factors for mental health. College is a full-time job. Sports is 20 hours a week. Job 2 to 3 days a week. Looking about 21 to 24 hours from that, and 60 hours roughly total. And then you're looking at cyberbullying that happens. That's unknown. It's a horrible thing that actually happens nowadays, but it is something that does happen, and that's part of the mental anxiety that helps. That doesn't help, but like increases risks for it. There are a lot of unknown circumstances in mental health. The family problems, as I mentioned before, and then there's all these things. Car breaks down, nobody likes that, or your grades drop, nobody likes that. It's a lot of anxiety, along with sports, keeping your position, working hard on that, and then you got work and class, and it's a lot. So if we could just decrease one of those, if we paid students at their 20 hours a week for their athletics and participation in it, then that job can disappear, and that leaves pretty much the weekend free of no stress other than just doing your homework. There's unfair revenue, which is my last point, because we already did physical and mental. Unfair revenue. The NCAA is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and 0% of that goes to the players. Now, I think they just passed something that here soon the players will get paid for their likeliness and participation and stuff like that. But I don't know how it's going to work. But schools like ours, like Shawnee, they are not going to pay their athletes, and it's kind of unfair because they earn lots of money from that, and zero goes to athletes. It all goes to the coaches and the school itself. And when you're working over 60 hours a week, when you conclude all three of those things, it's pretty challenging. Everyone but the players are paid, even in smaller colleges like Athens and Ohio University. None of those people get paid. And if I was working 20 hours a week at a job, I'd like to get paid because nobody likes to work for free. Going back to my 3 points, it's time, physical health, mental health, and unfair revenue. Time, you got 130 hours a week if you look at everything you have to do. Then mental health, you got all these factors that include working hard, going to class, doing your homework. Then you got work on the weekends. Then you got all these unknown things like cyberbullying and family issues, and your car breaks down, and that's a struggle. Then you got the unfair revenue. If you worked for someone and Say they made $1 million and you get 0% of that, but you did all the work during that, and like you were putting all the pressure to succeed, and you got none of it. You would be a little upset, I would hope, and that's why athletes should be paid. And again, I got all three of my journals. I got DJ Williams, An Examination of Athletic Identity, and then I have Arbach and Stokowski's Mental Health and College Athletes' Well-Being, and then my last journal is Point, College Athletes Should Be Paid for Their Participation, and then I'm going to leave it off on this. Student athletes must be paid in college because it is very time consuming and very stressful. It takes away from academics, which can be helpful, causing mental health concerns, and it is unfair to earn 0% of money back from hard work. And I'm Michael Patrick, and thank you for listening, and I hope I could persuade you to convince everybody else to pay college athletes while still in school.